Sorry, they're both dead last year.
Don Bellisario.
Thank you for keeping us on air for 5 seasons. Thank you for what you're going to have to do to keep us on for a 6th season. We're going to keep on. I was supposed to be out here to talk to you about the future of Quantum Leap, and the future of Quantum Leap is going to be bright no matter what happens, because I know that Quantum Leap, in the same way as Star Trek, is going to go on to have features and many other spin-offs. Right now, Quantum Leap is filming our 96th episode, and we'll be filming our 97th, which will be the last episode of this season, which I just finished writing day before yesterday. Which I promise you is probably the most unusual Quantum Leap you will ever see. Now, I have to know something. After I wrote it, and I knew you all written down, I said to my staff, lock all the scripts up. We cannot let it get out. Because I'm not sure exactly about the last scene, if I'm going to play or not, or if I'm going to change something there. Because what the network would like me to do is to take Quantum Leap in a different direction for next season in order to pick us up. Now, I don't know that it's something that I'm going to want to do, because if the direction in any way takes away from Quantum Leap, I'm not going to do it. We're just rather have the show I will tell you that this episode could be and will be the springboard to a leap into something else, or it could be the omega of the show. It's very unusual. We're trying some things. You know, the 96th episode of Quantum Leap, we go back. I heard Roger Dornan, who, I got to tell you, Roger has done such a tremendous job on the show. It's very romantic. We're going to leap back for the first time out of Sam's lifetime. Now, I know when he switched with Al, he did leap with Al back into the 40s, but for the very first time, we're going to leap him out of his lifetime. We're going to leap him back into the American Civil War. That is filming right now. The other thing I asked when I locked up anything, has anybody in here got the final script? Good. I was going to number them, you know, I was going to do the Spielberg deal where he numbers all the scripts and put them out page by page and all that stuff. I threatened Jimmy Whitmore, who I think Jimmy has directed for us 15 or 16 episodes. I threatened to pass him the script 8 pages at a time, which is about what we shoot per day. We didn't do that. So what does the network want us to do? Well, the network always wants us to make changes because they always feel a show is peaked or its interest is lost in it. How can they change it to make it better? We did some changes for them this year, some of which I'm not real happy with, but we kept the integrity of the show. Next year they want me to come up with something such as leading him into the future permanently and sending somebody along with him that would be a teenager and all that. You know, are they going to replace him now? I didn't think so. And that one doesn't want me to replace him either. God, don't let that get back to Dean. But they were looking for something to put us on the air, perhaps on a Sunday night at 7 or 8. Well, we're not going to do that. Okay, you've spoken, we're not going to do that. As to what we will do, I'm not even sure myself yet. I know that the animated episode that we wanted to do this year, we were not able to do because it couldn't get done in time. As soon as we get a pickup, we will put the animated episode into works. And that is an episode that will be pure animation from beginning to end. We won't even acknowledge that it's animated. We'll just leap them in, it'll be animated, and everything around the book. What can I tell you without giving it away about the last episode? That was a woman that be a tease, you know? I will tell you that it will explain somewhat why he's leaving around and who or what is leaving him. It will be bizarre. You will meet some people that you've seen in other episodes and shows in this episode. We'll be glad. It will have a three-hanky ending, which will involve Scott and Dean and their love for each other. I can tell you that when the director, Jimmy Whitmore, read it at the end, he had tears running down under his glasses. And he really did. Jimmy had tears. It's a kind of special episode. It's a very meaningful episode for me, but I'd give away if I told you what that was. So, oh, wait a minute. I may even be in it. I'll do a little cameo in it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to open it up to questions, because I know that's what you want.
Mr. Bellisario, I had a question about something you wrote last season, and then repeated again this season. It's actually kind of two parts. In Leap for Lisa, you had Sam say to Hal that the meeting doesn't depend on success, that we know that. I'm wondering, how they done it if they never failed to lead, and then what does it depend on?
It doesn't depend on success. We have had episodes where I guess they were there to do something, they didn't realize what it was, they did something else, and then found out at the end that maybe it was success. I mean, naming Peggy Sue as the song was one reason they never won. And I think we did an episode, I can't recall right off the top what episode it was, where they weren't successful, but they managed to do something else that was good. It doesn't depend on success all the time. It only depends on success because that's kind of where you like shows end happily. You know, you see a show where it ends unhappy and people don't care for it. They don't like downer endings. So I've had writers come to me and want to do shows where the ending was very dramatic and very down, and I stayed away from that. So I guess you're right. It does depends on success. But find out why he's weeping in the last episode, and you won't get completely definitive answers, but I think enough that you'll really appreciate it. I got to go all the way to the back now to Elizabeth.
Hi.
Call me Dawn. It's a hell of a lot easier.
Okay, at the beginning of fourth season, in September 1999, then when you switch to Oswald, it's February. What the heck happened?
Well, I guess what you're saying is at one point it's September 99, then it's February 99. When you're leaping around in time, it really doesn't matter what the dates are or what happens within that time. You're just leaping around in time, back and forth, back and forth. We make mistakes. I will see that the person responsible is summarily fired. They're not responsible for having someone fired. John, ready?
Hey! Well, first of all, I want to thank you very much for having me back on your show again. The production team, they have taken me under their wings. They love me very much. I love them. What we have done approximately is fantastic. Over the years that we have done approximately, all these lovely fans here have been behind us all the way. And they will never let that die. Believe me.
Richard Hurd will be back. Captain Galaxy, and a few other people. Okay, Elizabeth.
Don, I had a question about in the lead back. What was the rationale behind having Sam experience the reverse Swiss cheesing, where you say he's kind of already forgetting everything he's learned? Because I would think that once he remembers everything he's learned along his journey, you know, how he's grown, you know, his viewpoint, that it kind of loses something he's already forgetting about.
Yeah, when he Swiss cheeses a little bit every leap. It doesn't mean that he doesn't remember things that have happened and that he doesn't grow. It just means that every leap he forgets something else that he might have remembered in the last leap, and he may remember in the next leap. When I say Swiss cheese, it's as if his brain was literally filled full of holes. His memory in his brain is full of holes. But that is a constantly changing matrix, that every leap is different. So he never knows exactly what he doesn't know. And it's wonderfully convenient when you're writing scripts. I don't want to deal with that. You forgot it. It's Swiss cheese. Yes. Okay. Who's next?
You've given Sam a chance to go back to his family. You've also given Sam a chance to see Donna and his brother. I was getting the short end of the stick.
Not after the last episode. Believe me, he does not get the short end of the stick.
One thing I love the show for is because if something out of the ordinary happens in the show, it is easily explained within the show. Except there's one episode this season called Killing Classes.
Well, what happened was, it was not filmed properly. And in the filming of that, he took a gun from Al. Now, from a guard. So there was a guard in there. And he took a gun from a guard. And I looked at it, and I just made the decision that it just didn't look right. It didn't make any sense. It was not consistent with what had happened in the past. And I made the decision that it would be easier to just say he had somehow got a gun than to go through the process of showing it, which I didn't like the way it was filmed. It was kind of hokey. It didn't look real to me when it was done. And we couldn't afford to go back and reshoot it. I mean, it was done very strangely in that one. I don't even remember who did it or why, but it was done strangely. So I knew that I would have observant people like my leaders say, wait a minute, where did he get the gun? Or how? And I tried to slough over it by saying, somehow he got a gun. Next. John.
Yeah, my question is this: is there any progress on the idea to have Sam use the Thomas Magnum or any strictly
That idea came to a halt because there was some talk of Selig doing a movie about Magnum at some point, and he decided that he just didn't want to go along with it at that time. Maybe at a future date. So that's, yes, I'd love to do that. Be a great one. What I'd like to do in the next season is to expand the horizons of it, as we're testing with this one show where he leaps into the American Civil War. But, he leaps into the Civil War, but he still leaps into a character and a story and an emotional story. It's not, he's on the battlefield with Pickett, they're about to charge. There's an emotional story involved in this that has to do with the Underground Railway running slaves to the north, and also his own. The reason he's able to leap is he leaps into his own great-grandfather. So there's a genetic connection. Now we got to figure out how to make a genetic connection into the future, into other places in the past, or to make some other changes, which the last episode does.
On the animated episode you have planned, are they going to be animated humans or animated funny animals like cats?
No, it will be pure adult animation, what I call adult animation. You will be looking at Scott and Dean characterized, but you'll be looking at them in what I hope is very sophisticated animation. What it'll enable us to do is to do a story that has a lot of action. I mean, the particular story is he's an adventurer who takes people down to anywhere in the world to fulfill their dreams. That's what he leaps into, and what he leaps into is a man who's looking for his roots and his parents. And they end up going to Peru and rafting down the Biobío and getting into Inca ruins and mountains and sun gods, and it's all over the place. Big stuff. Airplanes crashing. Animation, who cares? We want to end the world. We come up with something that they like. See, networks love sales too. They love things like going out to their advertisers and their affiliates and saying, oh, we're going to take Sam into the future. It's going to be like a Blade Runner, and he's going to be a cop, and he's going to have a 14-year-old kid who's going to be with him, who was his long-lost son that he sired, didn't know he sired. And, he did it in a leap and didn't remember it. See how it works? And we'll hire this really good kid like Beverly Hills 911. And I'm not going to do that. So that's what they look at. And I said, she goes, both sound interesting. Let me tell you an idea that I've got. And I spun him the idea for Quantum Leap. And he and the other executives there, Warren Littlefield, Larry Simon, just kind of looked at me when I was done. And then Brandon said, could you tell me that again in 20 seconds so that my mother would understand it. And I guess his mother understands it. I don't think Brandon still thing. You all remember Quantum Leap Week? Well, that week knocked everybody on their butts because the show performed every night, which was the blessing. It got us picked up. But it was also the bane. It's our curse, because that's one of the reasons, I think, in the back of their heads, that they felt, well, we can put the show anyplace. And it works. Because remember Quantum Leap Week? Geez, we pull great numbers every night. And so they still persist and try, you get that mindset. Quantum Leap's a show we can put anyplace. Its audience will follow it. It'll be okay. And it has been. It's been okay for 97 episodes. It's not bad. I just want it to be okay for, 120. Next, up here, Sam.
I just want to tell you I love the show, but I have one question. What made you decide to change the music? The theme.
I received more letters hating the theme music. First of all, let me tell you, Mike Post wrote the original theme. Now, Mike Post wrote the arrangement that you all don't like. He wanted, as I did, to get the show picked up. We said to the network, oh, we're going to spice the music up a little bit and change it. And Mike said, yeah, let's get it a new feel. It's the same song, but Mike Post did that. That's Mike Post's work. That you all love on one hand and you all hate it. Now, I understand why you hate it. You come to love something, you don't want to change one little hair of it. And I think it was a mistake to do. Now that I've done it, I think it was a mistake. Because so many of you don't like it. It was simply an attempt to freshen the look of the show a little bit. Just like we changed the main titles a little bit all the time. I mean, if you go back and look at your tapes and look at the original main titles or the original, what we call saga cells that we had, they're quite different from what we're running now. We tried to do it with the music, but the music really stung us. And if we hadn't done it, it would have cost us a lot to go back and undo it. So we left it alone for this year. If you really want, I'll take a vote right now. I'll listen to this. You want to actually go on this? Charles Johnson's here, who's our co-exec producer that handles that. Charles, we're going back to the original music for the last episode.
Was it your idea to have Sam Leap with real people this year, or was that an NBC thing? Since they're social reality?
NBC said, how can we pop the show? What can we do new? We're going to move you to this Tuesday slot. What can you give us? And at that time, I said, okay. How about if I leave him into Lee Harvey Oswald? And they went, oh, God, oh, is that good? Oh, boy. We can promote that. Oh, yeah. What else? How about Marilyn Monroe? I mean, these people have orgasms over stuff. Hey, so it meant getting the show picked up. And so I liked it, and we did it, and that was the